Okay, so this video is going to be drills for handstands for the total beginner, for someone who's like, how do I build strength? I've found that a lot of training for handstands isn't necessarily just spending time in handstands. While that is a huge part of getting good at anything, is just doing it and practicing it. But there's also a level of building strength and maybe even flexibility in certain parts of the body that sometimes gets overlooked. So we're gonna move to the wall shortly, and I'm gonna talk about the ways to use the wall and not to use the wall with handstands. But we're gonna start here with something that I think really transformed my handstand practice and that I wish I would have found sooner. And that is this press up and out of the shoulders and building that strength. So a lot of people, when they kick up into a handstand, they're kicking up from here, as if my hands were on the ground. But the difference is, and the revelation for me was, that it needs to be here. And it's really the opposite of a lot of things that we teach in yoga, which is why I like to kind of separate teaching handstands from a yoga practice to some capacity. But anyways, I want to dive into, I could chat a lot. So if you've got questions, put them in the comments or send me a message on my Instagram page. I'll link it here. Because I'd like to know what you're struggling with exactly. But I want to dive into some drills so this isn't just a video of me chatting. So, complete beginner to handstand, or complete beginner to this material maybe. Maybe it's just a new approach. Okay, I need to stop talking. Let's come to a forward fold. And as I said in the warm-up video, if you got the chance to do it, a lot of, there are parts of the body that kind of we overlook sometimes when we're thinking about handstands, and one of those pieces is open hamstring. So spend more time here if this feels really tight for you. This first drill is going to be planting the hands shoulder width distance apart. Engage all 10 finger pads and knuckle pads into the mat. So if you start to feel this index knuckle kind of lifting up, really root it down. See if you can keep that rooted down. Then you're going to shift forward into the toes. And then, just as I did when I was seated, you're going to press the floor away, tuck the chin into the chest. This is really active. I'm engaged on my side bodies. I'm engaged in my arms. I'm engaged in my fingers. My forearms could totally pump here. Keep shifting forward. If it's not enough, if it doesn't feel like enough of a challenge, shift forward and press the floor away even more. In general, I find that this is easier for men than for women, but not always. And then release through center. We're going to do that 10 times pretty quickly. So as you're ready, exhale, press the floor away, chin in towards the chest as much as you can press. Really, really, really effort the press away. And then release. 9 more. Shift forward, press up, chin in towards chest, straighten out through the arms, turn the insides of the elbows forward, and release. Shift forward and press, chin in towards chest. If it's easy, put even more weight in the hands, shifting forward, and release. All right, shift forward, press the floor away, chin in towards chest, biceps are to the ears, and let it go. Already last count. Shift forward and press. We'll say 5 more. This is 5. Shift forward and release. Final 4. Shift forward, press the floor away, chin in towards chest, and let it go. Final 3. Shift forward, press the floor away, lift up and out of the shoulders, and release. 2 more. Shift forward, press the floor away. Even more than you think you can. Do I sound like a yoga teacher? Effort more. And release. Last one. Shift forward, press the floor away. Engage all 10 finger pads, knuckle pads, turn the insides of the elbows forward, lift up out of the shoulders. And release. Bend into the knees. Let the hips drop. Finding a yogi squat. Let's roll out the wrists for a moment. So a lot of handstanding is doing a drill and then taking a rest, and then doing a drill and taking a rest, letting body kind of come back to neutral. All right, that was drill number 1. We're gonna move to the wall. All right, so this drill is a total classic as far as introduction to handstand. And what I'm gonna teach you is that at the wall, it's better to have your face to the wall than your back to the wall. If you're kicking up against the wall with your back to the wall, you're just gonna teach yourself repeatedly and create the pattern subconsciously that something's gonna be there to catch you, and it's gonna take a lot longer to move into the room. So if you can, and I know that there's oftentimes this thing of fear falling, really just practice falling out to the sides, like even do some purposeful kind of bails out of handstands to practice what it feels like falling out to the sides or falling back down to the ground rather than into wheel, unless that's something you have the flexibility for, but only you can know that. And I don't recommend it if you're not sure. Okay, so for this first kind of basic entry into practicing coming into handstand, you're gonna sit with your back against the wall, and the place where your feet are at is where you're gonna put your hands. So I'm putting my hands here. Your hands are shoulder width distance apart, which is typically closer together than you think it is. A lot of times when you're starting out, your shoulders might not be open enough to have your hands truly shoulder width distance apart. Maybe that's true for you, maybe it's not. But really look at where your shoulders are and place your hands underneath them. So a lot of people start out here thinking this is shoulder width distance, and really bring it in. Okay, all 10 finger pads, knuckle pads are engaged. Now I'm gonna start to walk up the wall. And I'm gonna pause when my feet are at the height of my hips, and I'm just gonna play with straightening the legs. Now this is a lot of strength. This is first place to hang out. Next is to lift one leg off the wall, press the floor away. So that drill we did where we were pressing the floor away, that is here. One leg, and then the other leg, and then maybe eventually you start to play with just lifting, tapping the feet away, and then practice the fall out to the side. I encourage you to hold that L shape. When you're starting out, hold it for 10 seconds, and then build that up to, over time, maybe a minute, maybe 30 seconds would be awesome. Okay, so for the purpose of this video being useful as far as practicing together, we're gonna do this drill, you and I, right now, together. I'm going to call out when it's been 15 seconds, when it's been 30 seconds, when it's been 45 seconds, and when it's been a minute. And this is gonna show you where you're at in this L shape at the wall. Push yourself to where you've found your edge and it's really challenging, but not past that point where it might cause injury. So it's a really fine balance, pushing ourselves to grow and to extend these lengths of times that we're in these drills, but then also to know when it's time to back out. If there's ever any sharp pain in wrists, in shoulders, exit always. Okay, so start with your back to the wall, your legs extended long. And then you're gonna fold forward, plant the hands where the feet are. Really check that hands are shoulder width distance. This is important. It's important for habit building anyways. If your shoulders are a problem, hands can be a little bit wider. Okay, then you're gonna start to walk up the wall until the feet are at the height of the hips. I'm starting the timer now. Go ahead and straighten out through the legs. This is a lot of strength, okay? So we're holding here. Really press the floor away. We're at 10 seconds. If you can, pull the chin in towards chest. If you want to play with lifting one foot and then the other foot, we're at 20 seconds. Keep pressing the floor away. 30 seconds. You could start to play with lifting one foot, tapping, Catching a moment of balance in the fingertips. We're at 40 seconds. Keep with it if you can. 45, final 15 seconds. Whew, I'm feeling the burn for sure. I'm starting to get shaky. Final 5. And a minute. Whew. A minute's hard. All right. Now you know your baseline. So at whatever point you came out, maybe it was 10 seconds, that's great. 10 seconds is actually a lot if this is the first time that you're doing this. Do it every day, do several rounds, and start to just feel what it's like in those microseconds that you have your feet off of the wall. All right, thank you guys so much.